Hello everyone. Thank you for your attention today. Today I'm just going to go over briefly how to make an essay. It's kind of like a 5 or 6, 7 step process that I strongly recommend you follow in making an essay, which can be quite daunting sometimes for you if you're not used to writing. So the first thing I would recommend whenever you have an essay question that you need to answer, so maybe like in an exam or you have some coursework you need to do and you need to write an essay, the first most important thing I would recommend is you read the question carefully. This is very important. The amount of times that I see students not actually understanding the question and then writing a lovely worded essay, perfect grammar, punctuation, spelling, some good examples to back up what they believe, but unfortunately they've misread the question of the essay. Consequently, they lose a lot of marks. So do take time to really understand the question carefully. Take about a minute to read it, underline keywords in the question or highlight keywords that can help you understand what is it actually asking me to do. What should I do? So step 1, read the question carefully. What I'd recommend you do then is step 2, you need to start your introduction with what we call a hook sentence. Yeah, so hook sentence, like when you go fishing to catch your fish, you've got some bait and you've got a hook that will catch the fish. So essentially the same thing with the reader. You want to grab the reader's attention, catch the reader, make him want to read your essay. So for example, a hook sentence can be using a statistic, maybe a shocking or surprising statistic, or even a question you can ask. So for example, if your essay is going to be on obesity rates, or how to combat obesity, how can we prevent obesity, your hook sentence could be, did you know in the US last year or in the UK there were 1.5 million obesity cases reported that led to some kind of health complication? Or another statistic you could mention, did you know that the rate of obesity rose by 1.5 million in the UK last year amongst teenagers? So you want to grab the reader's attention, bring them into your essay, bring them into the door, into your house. That's the whole idea of a hook sentence. Make it as interesting as possible. Or you could make a question in your hook sentence. Did you know that obesity is one of the leading causes for diabetes or cardiac arrest or heart attack? You know, you can make something, some kind of question that will make the reader think, okay, this sounds interesting. I really want to find out more about this topic. So step number 2, don't forget, make a hook sentence. Drag the reader, bring the reader into your essay. Make them want to read your essay. Step 3, what I'd recommend you do is tell the reader what your essay is going to be about. So if your essay is going to be about, maybe we could use social media, what are the advantages and disadvantages of social media? That's what you're going to tell the reader. You know, this is what the essay will be about. I'll be discussing about the advantages and the disadvantages of social media usage. So the reader has a clear picture, okay, this is what this essay is going to be about. So he's not, you know, in two minds thinking, what could this essay be about? I don't really understand. You have to be really clear and tell the reader what your essay is going to be about. So that's another good tip for you there. After, of course, your hook sentence, and before your hook sentence, obviously, you've read the question carefully, you know what you need to do. Okay. What I recommend you do then is you create what we call a roadmap. So what I mean by a roadmap is you're stating to the reader in what order you're going to answer the question, what he can expect to see in your essay. So for example, you could say, firstly, I'll be discussing the advantages of social media, such as getting news in real time, being able to connect with people across the world. Secondly, I'll be talking about the disadvantages of social media, such as how people can sometimes abuse this and stealing your personal information and so forth. So you're stating to read in which order you're going to be discussing the things in your essay. So at the end of reading your introduction, the reader is going to have a clear picture of what your essay is going to be about and in what order you're going to be discussing those points in your essay in order to answer the question. Yeah. And some good signposting language you could use is firstly, maybe secondly, maybe thirdly, lastly. Right? So that will be all in your introductory paragraph. Right? So the reader, once again, has a clear picture of what to expect in your essay. What is the essay going to be about, and in which order you're going to be discussing the various points in order to answer the essay question. So don't forget to do that. You want to make it as clear as possible for the reader. Don't want to make it too complicated. Think about giving it to your friend to read. You want to make it as simple as possible for your friend to follow. Don't overcomplicate the essay in your introduction. Make it clear and simple. So let's just recap. First thing, make sure you read the question carefully so you know what you need to do. Take about a minute to do that, 60 seconds. Underline keywords that you can use to help understand the question better. Second thing, you need to make a hook sentence. Remember, you need to bring the reader into your essay. You want to grab his attention or her attention, make it as interesting as possible. Use a statistic, if you wish, or simply ask a question, right? Next step, you need to do your signposting. You need to tell the reader which order you're going to be answering the question in your essay. And some signposting language you can use quite simply, put firstly, secondly, thirdly, fourthly, or even lastly. Yeah, so that should be in your introductory paragraph. Try to remember that simple process. That's just for making an introduction. Okay. Well, hope these tips helped you, and take care.